With us today, we got Joe, Trigger Joe Britzig.
All right, let's go.
To try to get a matchup with a gunner. Oh, goes the roof. Francis is gunner.
Well, this is just a fist. When I start throwing it around, I can leave one hell of a mess. Let's dance.
Multiple occasions. Wow, it looks like they're going to swing to the very end.
And he wasn't kidding.
Wow.
It's very rare.
What a finish.
Another one.
It really poses the question, what do you want to do? Do you want to take a chance and risk getting knocked out?
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God.
Trying to take care of business, trying to get to goal. It's a knockout. Oh, my It's a knockout.
And it's closing in, trying to finish it, and it's over!
Because I'm going to take this foot and I'm going to whop you on that side of your face. There's not a goddamn thing you can do about it.
Clock is brought to you by Modelo.
I killed it!
And we have a new nickname. Okay, we have William Send It 7 Pearson. All right, other than that, we used to call him Willie Pete. We used to call him the Mad Russian.
For his opponent to be quicker on the catch.
Now you're gonna get it, Bobby!
I think you've had enough. Noah? Now you've had enough. Bitch.
Wow. How good is this?
Finish him!
Another one.
Everybody gets triggered. It's just if you become a pansy. That's in the Book of Earl.
I'm not surprised, motherfuckers.
You called down the thunder, well now you got it.
Gotta be very careful.
This is the Veteran Trash Talk Sports Betting Show with your hosts, Trigger Joe, Send It 7 Pearson, and the Big Earl. UFC, NFL, if it's on, we're betting on it.
Lend me your eyes and ears for a moment. Take a look at the screen. There are multiple reasons that destroy our veteran brothers and sisters. There isn't just one answer. One of the problems is opioid addiction. Happy Place Hemp has bought into our mission to combat this addiction. If you are suffering from chronic pain or insomnia, go to elevatedhempsolutions.com and use the code VTT25 off to save 25% on your journey to a healthier you. Gruntworks Nation. All right, we are here, and I don't know, George, were you able to get it on Veteran Radio Syndicate?
Yep.
So we are lucky and have the honor to have George on here, the starter and creator of Veteran Radio Syndicate. So go check that out as well. So if you guys are watching at any time during the show, go to gruntworksclothing.com or go to veterantrashtalk.com draftkings.com and use the code VTTGW and get a discount during the show. All right, big shout out to our sponsors. You heard the Happy Place Hemp one. These guys. We also have 10th Mountain Bourbon, which I've been inspecting all day. All right, I'm making sure that it's
good, Nick.
Yeah, making sure that
it's safe for consumption.
That it has the right mash count. All right, that I learned from Chris, one of our guests who does bourbon reviews. And then, of course, you got Zach Farkas with the Veterans Mortgage Source. We did a show last Wednesday, so make sure you go check him out on our website, and all that's gravy. Now, with us, well, Bill, let's talk about Bill.
Where is Bill? Anybody found Bill?
Where the fuck is Bill? All right, so Bill is a sergeant major, a command sergeant major. And, you know, he is in one of those units that is like, you know what? Why are all these ranges open for the next 2 weeks? I don't know, because this week and next week is a holiday. All right. So that's why all those ranges are open. And Bill locked those ranges up. All right. I'm pretty sure WTF Moments is going to have an article about you training on Veterans Day, but that's okay. Again, you know, the enemy doesn't take off on Veterans Day. So why should we? Okay. Anyways, that's about it. Now we'll get into the NFL picks later, which I have to, I got to take it on the chin that time. But UFC last week, I don't know how we did, Joe. How did we do in UFC last week?
Oh, we did well. I do believe Chris has a graphic to show the audience that we are putting our money where our mouth is.
Right. And those graphics are fight picks.
Yeah, 5-fight parlay where I picked the 42-year-old Glover Teixeira by sub. So, like we said, we don't just talk shit; we actually back it up. And not a whole lot of people. That wasn't the sexy pick, but Nick, what have we learned about the old betting against the old man?
The old man always wins.
The old man
bet against the old man.
Don't just bet because he's an old man. Glover's a beast. He's not a normal 42-year-old either. And I said it, when he gets to the ground, his jiu-jitsu will take over. And it didn't take very long. So I'm glad that they proved us right once again.
Right. And with that, so those of you watching for the first time, I know we have a few people that I always watch, and we appreciate you. But those of you watching the first time, we don't encourage gambling. All right, if you can't gamble, we like to build a bankroll up, starting with a couple $100 and see where we go with that. Remember, Vegas has really tall buildings for a reason. Okay, you never know what's going to happen. Bad judges. All right, a guy slips and breaks his ankle. Football, the ball bounces off two guys' helmets, gets intercepted, returned for a pick six, whatever. Okay,
if you're not having fun with it, you're doing it wrong.
Exactly. So again, after these guys give their picks, all right, Joe's going to give you his parlays and his locks, and then we'll go into the NFL picks. But remember, again, if you don't have any money to gamble, don't gamble. Just don't do it. But if you want to put a little scratch in the game, that's what we do. And when I heard Joe and Bill both agree last week that Glover would win by submission, all right, Glover was already a plus 250 underdog. The submission was plus like 700. Somebody put $50 on that. I'm not going to say who. All right. And then it turned into a by submission, turned into a nice $350 payday. So anyways, be smart, be safe. And if you're watching, say hi, say where you're watching from, and any comments you want to make. I'm not monitoring Gruntworks, but Chris is. So if you make a comment on Gruntworks, just give it a second before we respond to it, because usually Bill does that, but Bill's training. Okay. We know what sergeant majors do when they train. Okay. You're drinking coffee. Okay. You're drinking coffee and you're yelling at people. Okay. Enough of hearing me talk. Hey, George.
Yes, sir.
From the Veteran Radio Syndicate. Take a couple seconds, introduce yourself, and then we'll get into the fight picks.
So for those that are new to this or whatever,
we're all new to you.
Yeah, I'm George Pardos. I'm the owner of Veteran Radio Syndicate. I am also, for the last 30 years, I've been Mark Coleman's training partner and manager for part of that time. I wrestled at Ohio State from 88 to 93, wrestled for the Marine Corps team in 87, 88. I wrestled for the U.S. Army team in 97. I was assistant coach at Ohio State for 5 years. And so second degree black belt in judo, blue belt under Helio Seneca in jiu-jitsu. And I have my own cage. So what I was going to do
that's my favorite stat.
I have my own cage. So what I was going to do is going to have Joe come down here and maybe take on Chris or Nick, and you guys could, maybe, do it in.
I'm retired.
We've got a stipulation, George. Nick got me the first time we ever rolled. I separated my shoulder.
I separated your shoulder.
If my child was on fire and water meant he had to get on the mat with me, he'd still debate it.
I separated his shoulder and I retired.
It wasn't a Kimura or anything. We just landed funny.
No, it was just that he was undersized for me. Wanted to talk a little bit of shit. I was just too big for him. This is
we ought to do is have. That's not a bad idea. Have like a 3-round match, but in between rounds, you do shots.
I was gonna say, if you got some PBR and some 10th Mountain there, Nick might get into that.
Yeah, you might get me drunk enough to get me in the octagon, because again, I am undefeated in the octagon. I've never lost. But
what do you weigh?
I'm at 197 right now. I'm at my fighting weight, actually. I cut down.
Joe's 195. That's scratch weight. You guys,
but when I'm working out hard, I'm about 210.
It's 205. You guys meet at 205. Do 2-minute rounds.
But he's so little. Like, it's not fun beating up on little guys. It's like,
George,
it's great.
George, you'll never talk him into it. I don't know.
Like, great.
Some might call that fear.
Like, all I did was put him on his back. All I did was put him on his back. And
I don't want to speculate.
It sounds like screams, right? So it's like, I can't, like, they were blood curdling. I thought it was Halloween in that fucking circle. Like, I couldn't believe it, So, but that's all right. Preston Paris is my weight class. Well, Preston,
is Preston watching?
Yeah, he is. You might be.
Ask him ask Preston, do you think Joe will ever get me on the mat again?
Yeah. Hey, Preston, do you think Joe will ever? Oh, he heard you. He's watching. He'll answer that question. But he said, God, I missed this. And then Juan Garcia says, shit, I'm a super heavyweight. Yeah, Juan.
Yeah, I'm not getting on the mat with you either, Juan.
Yeah, that's what happens when you smoke weed and then just eat Cheetos all day. All right. So you got.
Hey, wait a second. Juan's a super heavyweight. All right, me and Juan would go at it.
There you go. Now he says you're a jarhead as well, but
he's too nice for that. I don't think he's got the meat. He is a Marine.
Yeah, a former Marine, right? But so if you transfer over to the Army, are you a former Marine or are you still a Marine?
Still a Marine.
Still, really?
Yeah, I mean, we're just still former Marine veteran. I don't know, whatever.
Yeah, what was your? If you don't mind telling the audience before we get into the fights, because that's what they're waiting for. What did you do in the Marines?
I was a dumb fucking grunt.
What's wrong with that?
I was a 0331, which is a machine gunner.
That's what that is.
Keep calm and lay suppressive fire, baby.
Yeah,
we were all machine gunners. We all were. So.
And then I went in the Army Reserve. I was a 31 Bravo and 11 Bravo.
All right. So there you have it. He decided to smarten up and join the
Army Reserve. I bet you wanted to.
And I'm going to tell you, what's funny is in '97 when I wrestled for the Army team, we went down to train at Betting because I wrestled at the U.S. Open, and it was so funny because that was the first year because the Army team, and I got to tell you something, the Army team has got the second best world class athlete program. So if any of you that are listening to this are athletes and are in the Army and want to try not just to wrestle, but you're good enough. One of my teammates from Ohio State, Rex Holman, wrestled in that program.
Never heard of him.
That's funny. God, it's like,
that's funny.
But if you have aspiring athletes, look into joining the Army. The world class athlete program is a great thing. It's a great recruiting tool, and down the road, they should they've had Army Olympians. You had the girl that just shot. I forget what. Not trap. I don't know what it. It was trap.
No, she won a gold medal. Shooting. The gold medal. That was just straight shooting.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and so. They have some good programs out there, and the Army is doing everything they can to and expand that. So, just keep that open if if that's something you are going to do.
For sure. Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty sure they modeled that after seeing me with my shirt off in 2007, but that's That's fine.
Were you on Grindr then? Was Grindr then?
No, I don't think internet. Really
He started
existed.
Grindr.
Did Al Gore invent the internet yet? I'm not sure. It might have been. So let's get.
How did you take off? Wait a second. You have like those little banana pepper arms. What were they? I mean, I'm just telling.
Boom. Well, that's what happens when you're tall and attractive. All right. Everybody can be short and bench press like 600 pounds because you have to literally bench press at 4 inches, right? Because your arms are like that long. So it actually takes talent to get, muscle tone when you're longer. And then
How tall are you?
6'3".
Okay.
So yeah.
Right.
It's like I'm an ultimate male like Thunderlips. It is what it is. But let's get into. Oh, April Gonzalez is watching. What's up, April? How you doing? She's a smarter UFC person than probably all of us. We got to get her on the show one of these times. So we got UFC 268. Now, I don't really pay attention to underwear fighting unless Joe tells me to bet on it, which is every week now. What is there ever been back-to-back UFCs?
This is the first time in a long time since they started, doing a fight every single weekend, but this is the first time in a long time they've had a numbered UFC. I think they've never done it weekend to weekend like this.
No.
But for some odd reason, and I'm not sure why Glover and Jan wasn't a pay-per-view, maybe because I thought it wouldn't sell like this one will, but this one, we're getting spoiled with this card.
Right. So
last one was great too.
Yeah, the first fight is a lightweight fight, and this is I guess a lot of people are talking about this more than any other fight except for maybe Usman and Covington. But you got Gaethje at 22-3 in the lightweight bout versus Chandler at 22-6. Now, again, when I make my picks, those of you watching it for the first time, I have no fucking idea what I'm talking about. Okay, so I literally look at their face and their name, and I make a guess. And it's called a clown pick. So the clown picks here is I'm gonna go Chandler with a choke slam in the first round. Okay, that's how he's gonna win. Gaethje's gonna throw a little weak kick out there, and Chandler's gonna catch him and choke slam him, Undertaker style, knock his ass out over first round. Let's go to our guest, George. Who's gonna win this fight? How's it gonna end? And what round is it gonna end in?
Wow.
I hear.
I gotta take Justin, and I think I don't see it ending. I think it's gonna go a decision Justin's way, 3 rounds.
All right. So the experts got a Gaethje by decision. Whatever. What do you got, Joe?
Same guy, different outcome. Gaethje's got some of the most devastating low kicks in the lightweight division. I think he does have the most devastating kicks in the lightweight division, some of the most devastating in the UFC. And I saw him standing next to Usman and like the post weigh-in photo. He looked like he was in Usman's class, and Usman is a giant welterweight. So Gaethje looks in shape. He looks ready to roll. That Khabib performance was the worst of his career by far, even though it was against Khabib. He didn't have a very good showing. I was expecting a little more. I actually picked him, even though, that was my USA heart pick. But, Chandler's going to have to go out and spark him in the first round. That's the only way. And Justin does get wobbled, but he gets wobbled by volume. Okay. That's
why I got him in the first round with a choke slam.
Eddie Alvarez was hitting 1-2-3 combos, and Chandler's more of a one-punch knockout guy. And that's a bad matchup for him to do that with this guy, because Gaethje literally in the press conference, and I believe him, leaned forward and said, this guy's going to try and knock me out in the first round. I know what his game plan is, but we'll see who the bitch is when he shoots the double leg.
Nice.
So he's basically saying, you won't stand with me, you'll shoot first. And I agree with him. But I think his low kicks and Gaethje's power is going to be too much. Chandler does not recover that well from punches. He got sparked by Oliveira. If Oliveira can knock him out, so can Justin Gaethje. And I think Gaethje TKOs him in the late second round after obliterating his legs.
There you have it.
Gaethje TKO second.
All right. So now we'll flip it this time. We'll let Joe go first on this fight. We got a featherweight fight, and we have Burgos at 13-3 versus Quarantillo. Now, does he say it like you say it in Juarez?
Everybody just calls him Billy Q.
Billy Q. So Billy Q's coming in at 16-3. Now, I haven't called this fight in a while, but it's due again for how it's going to end. So
George, Nick has some of the most unique finishing maneuvers you'll ever hear. Some would be illegal in Vince McMahon's organization, but just prepare yourself.
We didn't know if what was it, a kick to the ovaries was legal. But if you can pull, is
that how you got knocked out?
I never got knocked out. I've never lost. So it's that simple. Never lost once. I did tap once because I was tired, and I was done. Yeah, I wanted to go get some water, but it wasn't a submission attempt. I was just like, I'm done. But we got I'm gonna go Burgos here by taint punch. All right, so you've all seen Bloodsport, right? Where Frank Dukes goes
what
into
is
the
that?
splits.
Van Damme gets away with a perfect uppercut to the nuts, and they don't call it.
So he's actually going to miss, but he's going to hit the taint. All right, but that's actually going to be more destructive than the actual ball punch.
Is it going to
I
be
don't know how it's going to happen.
5-point death touch,
right? Like, so just write that down. That I got Burgos by taint punch in the second round.
I'll check to see if win prize.
George, do you see it going that way?
No, not necessarily, but I will check to see if there's a prop on that on win bets.
Sorry, it's Joe's turn. Yeah, sorry, my bad.
Did you say George?
No, I did.
He said Joe. He said Joe.
Okay. I thought you said Joe.
I did, but I always call you George on the phone, so it just works that way.
That is true. Yeah.
George or Ralphie.
Yeah, it's my grandfather and my son's name, George. So Nick likes to call me George.
Yeah.
Which I don't mind it. I got Billy Q in this one. It's a really tough fight for me to call. The reason why I'm having a hard time with it is Burgos's volume is very similar to Billy Q's, and he's got a 5-inch reach advantage. You know how big I am on that when you got a similar matchup. But
I was in a gay porn call, 5-inch reach advantage. No big deal.
Fantastic. Is on
you the fluffer?
Yeah, you got to work up some way. You got to do it. You got to work your way up.
He got in the Actors Guild for it.
Yeah, you got to work your way up, George. All right. So I'm sure you watched some. I'm sure you watched some mats back in your day too. So
hey, there's not a wrestler around that hasn't watched mats. Come on, guys.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I'm sure you've watched some mats.
Yeah, Billy Q is gonna be my DraftKings value also because he throws 7 1/4 significant strikes a minute, which is a ton, especially around that weight class. That's a lot of volume. I don't like the way Burgos was knocked out in his last fight. Granted, it was Edson Barbosa, but it was fucking weird. He took like 3 steps back, and it took 3 seconds for him to do like the Ric Flair face plant. And when I say that, I'm not exaggerating, Nick. It was odd. He took like 3 or 4 steps back, hit the cage, and went face down. And I don't
like
know
Apollo Creed type, like
dude. He kind of squared up and like took a couple steps back, and then one more, and boom! It was like the Ric Flair face plant. It was nuts. Now Billy Q's given up 5 inches of reach, so I think he's gonna have to work to get inside. He's got some of the best cardio in the UFC. He's technically sound. He's just not real. He's not a sexy pick. He's not gonna go in there and knock him out one punch. But Billy Q's knocked some people out, and Burgos got knocked out in his last fight. So I got Billy Q by decision here as my upset pick.
All right, there you go. Joe's calling an upset here, but with Billy Q. How's it going to end though?
Decision.
All right, and then so now you got George here. But before George goes, just to let you know that Joe has a tremendous angle on beard dye. So his beard is not that dark naturally. So if you need anything after the show, just ask him. He's got some good stuff. But George, what say you on this fight?
See, I'm kind of green on Joe on this. I think if you take a look, that Burgos takes a little bit more hits. His defense is a little bit. Burgos' takedown accuracy is better. His defense is better, but I think I've got to go. I think Billy Q is going to just be frustrating for him, and I've got to go with. I think I'm going to go with Billy Q in a decision. The same thing. I just don't. I don't see this going any other way, other than I just think it's going to be a long fight. I don't, and the only thing I will say about this is that I think, my opinion, I think it's not going to be as a busy of a fight as they would had they been going with somebody else.
Agreed.
All right, there you have it. So there you go. The two experts have agreed on this fight. Okay, now if you want to bet the clown picks, you take mine with the tank punch. I don't know if they're giving odds on that at like Caesars, but you could probably go ask. I'm sure they'll take any amount of money if you say that's how I want to bet. They'll probably like any amount of money. So now the next fight is a bantamweight fight, and you got this name sounds familiar. Old Edgar.
So this is a legend fighting here.
Yeah, he's coming in at 23-9, and you got Vera at 17-7. So what is it, Marlon?
Marlon.
Marlon. All right. So Marlon, when I did all my research on this fight and I looked at the previous fights, I didn't look at the previous fight, sorry, but you look at Marlon's face, all right, and there's no way that he can beat Edgar. Okay, Edgar is going to grab him by the beard and then bitch slap him, and then he's going to tap. Okay, because when you get slapped on a UFC 268 on national, like a pay-per-view, like you quit. Like he's going to pull you by the beard and just slap you, and then you're just going to stop. So that's how that's going to end. First round. Okay, so George, what say you? You see that way?
I got. I'm going to say this. I think Vera. I got. I'm going to pick Vera, but I think he is going. This fight's going to. This is a tough fight for me to call because I know Frankie, but I think if I've got to bet on this, I would take Vera by either a decision or third round knockout.
Third round KO. I like that one better.
I just think that I think when it comes to I just think that Vera is going to is going to handle a lot more of the he throws a lot more punches. He's got more significant strikes than Frankie does. Frankie he's not a good fighter too. So, but I've got to go with Vera, and I think if he pushes the pace, I think he's going to be and he's also a little bit bigger than Frankie right now. So I got to go with Frankie. I think I mean with Vera, third round decision or third round knockout.
All right, so you got to pick one for the official rules. Which one's it going to be?
Go with a decision.
Decision, nice. Trigger Joe.
Damn it, we're not going to have a lot of separation on this one.
Well, we got separation on the first fight.
There we go. I love Frankie Edgar, man. But he's 40 years old in the UFC. That's kind of like being 65 in the real world.
Against the old guys,
close
again.
To retirement time. I hate to say it, but I think Frankie's status as a legend and who he is kind of got it to where he's getting that Chuck Liddell leash a little bit, where I don't think that Frankie's in danger of getting hurt or anything like that. But this is a young man's game. And Nick, you do know Marlon Vera because he cost us some fucking money. He hit the $1 million kick on Sean O'Malley.
Oh,
he shut his leg off. O'Malley's leg folded.
Yeah,
he hit the nerve kick. He hit him right behind his knee and shut his leg off and cost us a ton. Yeah. We had Sugar Sean by knockout. Marlon Vera is a freaking tough dude. He's an ugly fighter, man. He likes to make it dirty. Nick was in a gay porn called Make It Dirty.
Yeah. We'll talk about
but he's 28 years old.
That's when I was a fluffer. I didn't really start that one.
Yeah, he's 28 years old. He's bigger than Frankie. I don't think Frankie's going to have as easy a time taking him down as he would have when he was 30. And Vera's a little bit bigger. So I got Vera winning this one, but out of respect to Frankie, I'm going to say split decision. I know that doesn't separate us in the rules or anything, but I think you might have a split here. And if I was going to parlay a draw, this could be one of those fights where Frankie wins 2 rounds and then he gets 10-8'd and you have a draw. So it's plus 5,000 on FanDuel.
Hey, there's a clown pick for you. I know Colby's watching right now. There's a clown pick for you. Colby will put a bunch of money down on plus 5,000 any day of the week. So,
Billy Q and Marlon Vera, both those fights it's plus 5,000 to pick a draw. So tell them that. And those are going to be close ones. But I do say this will be very competitive. And I got Vero winning just because he's younger, he's bigger, and I think he'll grind him out a little bit better than he would if he met Frankie at 30. At 30, I think Frankie takes him.
All right, we got one of our regulars. Marie says hi. She just jumped on. What's up, Marie? And then Juan's got Frankie has that old man strength. Even though Juan is correct in my opinion, which is nothing in UFC,
for what Frankie Edgar did against Gray Maynard, I will never question his heart, and Frankie can stay in there longer than almost any guy that's ever fought before, because Gray Maynard had him knocked out cold, and somehow Frankie rolled around, landed on his feet, and then came back and won the fight. But it should have been stopped twice.
Well, what I love about, the critics that actually any sport, and we've talked about this before, Joe, like where you make fun of a guy for dropping a pass, and it's like, what do you realize how good that guy is? Like, do you realize like what he's capable of? You have no idea that maybe there was a sun glitch. There was, he got off on the wrong step after he got his route knocking off. It's like, how good that guy is. Frankie Edgar has won 23 fights. Like that. Yeah, which means he's beaten 23 professional fighters in the UFC. All right, so it's like you don't sleep on that. But let's go to the next one, which I'm super pumped about. Super pumped because one of my clown picks actually hit the last time these two ladies fought. So you got Rose versus Zhang. And I said that Rose, USA, would knock her head off. I called a win by decapitation. So if you watch that last fight, she damn near kicked Zhang's freaking head off. Right? So I was close.
Yeah, the leading surgeon in the country was able to reattach Zhang's head.
Right.
So it wasn't a pure decapitation, but you're damn close.
I am going to call Rose again with decapitation number 2. She will knock Zhang's head off to the point to where Zhang goes to the corner and she goes, "Was I really knocked out?" And the corner goes, "Yes." All right. So that was the best. Like, it wasn't a soundbite. You could just read the lips. She was like, "Was I out?" And the corner's like, "Yeah." So it's like you were knocked out. So Joe, who you got? Who you got?
Is this George first, or no? It's me.
No, it's you. Yeah.
You're gonna hear it. People either love it or hate it, but you're gonna hear it.
Thug Rose.
Thug Rose. Listen.
USA.
Here's the problem. Here's the thing: when you knock somebody out like that, everyone's like, "Well, Zhang's so strong." Zhang, you ever seen a fighter that goes out there and gets sparked by somebody they shouldn't have? And everyone's like, "Oh, wait till he gets back in there against them." And he gets back in there, and all of a sudden he's a pussycat. It's up here. You got KO'd by this person last time you were looking into their eyes. So I don't think Weili is going to be as aggressive with Rose, because this little skinny girl who wears a fade will piece your face up. She looks very unassuming. People look at Rose and they get confidence because she's 5'5", 115 pounds, and she doesn't look like much until they close that freaking door. And then her strikes are beautiful. She works with her husband, Pat Barry, who is even though he was a little chinny, he was a very good kickboxer, and hits very hard. The only reason he wasn't a better UFC fighter is because he couldn't cut under heavyweight, and he's 5'9". So you're kind of at a disadvantage there.
Short people.
But I got Rose in this one, and I think Rose is going to overwhelm her to where Zhang shoots. And if you think Rose is good on the feet, see what the fuck happens when you go to the mat. I got Rose by rear naked choke. Now, you don't have to call the sub, George, but I think Zhang's going to have a sloppy grapple in the scramble. Rose is going to get her back on the feet. They're going to go to the ground, rear naked choke.
What round?
2.
Second round sub. All right. George,
I'm sorry. 5-rounder. Third round. They set a different pace in 5-rounders. So
right, yeah, round. The championship rounds. So George, what say you?
I hate to do this, but
you're gonna go China, huh? Communist.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to go. I think I'm gonna have to go to communist.
The two experts picked the communist last time, but the Big Earl picked Rose. All right. So,
I got to say this. I've seen, with Zhang, I think she's going to come out determined. I think she's going to, I think she's going to win. Here's what I think she's going to come at her different. I've got to go with a KO to Zhang or a decision. I don't see. I think that she's just going to come out way more determined than she did the last. And I think here's the one thing that I give Rose the fact that she is 4 pounds heavier. But I gotta say this. I think this time around, Zhang is just going to. I just there's just
starve her to death like the rest of China.
Yeah, probably. And our comedy is kind of like communist China. Not everybody gets it. So, I gotta go with Zhang on this one. Even though I like Rose, and I mean, I just think that she's going to be better prepared. At the same time, I think it's going to be a good fight. And honestly, I think it might not. I think Zhang might get her in the third, but I think that's going to be a tough fight. But at the end, I think Zhang comes out victorious.
All right, so it sounds like both of you guys are saying like third roundish, right? So probably over 2.5, or that's a tough bet there, huh? So,
oh yeah, the only reason the 2.5 makes me nervous at all is because Zhang does have a lot of power. She's more powerful than Rose.
Hey, George, I got a question for you. As soon as you are a Marine, okay?
Yeah.
Did the Marines ever do anything in China?
I swear to God, this is why we used to haze boots. This right here. Mm-hmm. This is why you used to go get a bucket of grid squares.
Did
right?
Did they ever do anything in China?
I mean, other than a Boxer Rebellion.
Exactly. We sent Marines there.
Yeah.
So is that why you subconsciously picked China? Because then they beat the Marines, and then they're going to beat you again. Like, is that what you're worried about?
How do you make that correlation?
It's weird how I know this weird shit.
Heck Mountain Bourbon.
So yeah,
that's how he makes that correlation.
Yeah, because I have about 240 college credits. A lot of people go to school for 8 years. All right, they're called doctors. I'm not one of the doctors, but I got the credits. All right, so I learned a lot of useless shit all day long because the Army keeps paying for it. So
what would you be your degree in?
Well, I have a business management degree, but I'm getting my master's in leadership from the Yale of the Southwest. I don't know if you ever heard of UTEP.
Yeah,
University of Texas, El Paso,
otherwise known as Columbia.
Yeah, it's known as the Yale of the Southwest. I don't know if you've ever heard that. Damn it. It's where Aaron Jones is from. But
you know that that was the UTEP was University. Yeah, they were the first team to start 5. They were the first team.
Glory Road. Road.
I'm good.
Joe just got off the screen, which
I'm
is going
good.
to piss off Muffin Fingers because it screws up the whole screen. And now Chris is going to get mad about it. Chris has to do a final tonight, Joe. So get back on camera, okay?
What's he doing?
There you go. Nothing. He just did something stupid to piss Chris off.
Oh no, I'm good.
But so we're okay. So Joe's going Rose, third round sub, and George is going Zhang at third round. What's the finish?
I think she knocks her out in the third.
KO third round. Nice.
Because if it goes to the fourth, I mean, if it goes to the championship rounds, I think Rose might have it, but I still think that she's just. I think I've got to put if I had to bet, like I said, I'm going to go on there.
Right. So there you have it. If you're live betting tomorrow, if it goes past the third round, there's a little tip for you. So get that. So the main event, here we are, the final fight, Usman, 19-1 in the welterweight fight for the belt versus Colby Covington. Notice I said Colby Covington because nobody, the Big Earl has done a lot of research on this, right? Nobody named Colby can fight. Okay? Nobody. So just by the name alone, if Colby Richardson's still watching, that's why you always lose at golf. Nobody named Colby wins. ever. So I got Usman. I'm going to go by submission. It doesn't really matter what round because, like I said, nobody named Colby can fight. George, what say you?
George, the honors are yours.
I got to go with Kuzman. I've got it was Usman.
Did you get Michigan stuck in your throat?
No, I did not.
Oh, okay.
I got to go with Usman. I think he KOs him. I don't see him going the distance, but I think I think Usman takes him KO beginning of the third round.
There you go. So over 2.5. Nice. I like it. Joe, what say you? I like that.
I got Usman. I think this one goes the distance, though. The reason why I say that is Colby's no joke, man. And it's a gimmick. All the stuff he does, yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's a gimmick. Guess what he is? A fucking marketing genius. Because Colby Covington was told he was boring and no one wanted to watch his fights. He goes to Brazil, calls Brazil a dump and a bunch of filthy animals in the ring in Rio de Janeiro in the octagon. And all of a sudden he starts blowing up and getting these fights. Well, here's the thing. Like they said in Emmanuel Stewart said this, you sign that big HBO contract, son, don't forget one thing. You still got to fight the fights. Okay. Well, Colby can scrap. He murdered Woodley at Woodley's own game, but just overwhelmed him. Now that wasn't the Tyron Woodley of old, but it was still a good Tyron Woodley that he destroyed to the point where Tyron Woodley was screaming. This was no fans, Nick. You could hear him screaming, "Ow, ow, 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 my rib, my back." Like I've never heard that before in a fight. Maybe because of fans, but he bullied Tyron Woodley. He can really scrap, and I don't think Usman is going to bully him. I think Usman is going to sharpen up on that jab that's become a devastating weapon of his. And I think he's just too powerful for Colby to bully him. So I think it's going to be a little bit of feel you out type of stuff. But Usman is just a better version of Colby. High volume, good striking, great wrestling. And I got Usman by decision in another instant classic.
There you go. And Joseph Finn watching says Colby needs more grappling skills to compete in this. Is that a fair assessment?
He's a good wrestler, but he actually, to be honest with you, with Usman, he needs to be a little bit better and more crisp at his striking. His striking's good. It's workmanlike and it's sharp, but it's not something that's going to scare Usman from taking him down. So, yeah.
All right. So
I agree. Colby,
there you have it, George.
I even compete with Usman.
I don't know if you prepared this, but you can go to the undercard if you want. But do you have any betting advice to the viewers about what are your locks? If you were going to put, let's say, $20 to $50 on a fight or 3 or 4 fights, not a parlay, just locks. Who are you betting on this card?
You can go prelims, George, too.
Yeah.
Let me see on it.
If you didn't research it, we'll go to Joe if you want to look at it for a little bit.
If I had to pick a lock, even though that I'm going to tell you this, even if I had to pick a lock, the fight that I would pick is the welterweight is Ian Gary against Williams. I think that's that's a lock.
That is one of my locks.
And I tell you, a bad matchup, even though the guy's Greek and I kind of like him, is I'd pick Alex over Andreas.
Say the last names, George, because some of these people are MMA newcomers. Michailidis, you talking about?
Michailidis. His name is Andreas Michailidis.
He eats euros.
And Alex Pereira. I think that's that's a decent fight that I would bet on. I don't, at the other fights, I don't know that I see something that is like, man, I got to put my money on this to.
That's fine if you only have 2 locks. We don't want to throw our bettors off. So if our bettors,
I tell you another. I got to tell you one fight that that I think is going to be a really good fight, and I think it's not going to turn out well. But I would pick up Gian Villante against Chris Barnett. I would pick Villante. I think he's just gonna rough him up a little bit.
Nice. All right, Joe. All right, everybody who just tuned in, you tuned in at the right time. All right.
Yeah, buddy.
Give us your locks, give us your parlays, give us your DraftKings Sleeper.
All right, I'm gonna do it in reverse, like Nick's last gave point. My DraftKings Sleeper in value is Billy Quarantillo. And I also like in the first fight of the night, CJ Vergara over O'Day Osborne as another upset pick. So my locks. So listen close to when George. A lot of you watching don't know how close George is to the sport. All right, he's trained with the guy that invented ground and pound. He knows these guys. He knows these camps inside and out. And so Ian Gary's the next big thing out of Ireland. This is a setup fight for him. I got Gary as a lock, and if you want to play with those odds to get yourself a better value, take Gary by finish. Take him in the under, whatever. He's going to spark Jordan Williams. End of story. I also, I pray one day he's actually watching, but Nick, you're going to fucking cringe. Bobby fucking Green is fighting, and I'm taking Bobby Green over Ally Quinta because they are going to fight a stand-up fight. Bobby Green lost last time he fought that he lost, George. He cost us an 8-fight parlay.
For $300,
and he only lost
$300 down on that
one. He needed to win the third round.
That was like an $8,000 payout. It was like an $8,000 payout we lost on Bobby.
I'm taking Bobby Green, Gary, and I'm taking Usman as my third lock. Lock it up. Not being scared of fate, Nick. I'm going with Bobby Green again. I will say this. When I met the man in person, he was dressed like Kanye West and couldn't have been more of a gentleman. He actually walked out with me and my cousin. And I told him we call him Bobby fucking Green because he cost us money, and he wouldn't stop laughing.
A lot of money.
Yeah.
Like
also,
you could buy like a Honda Civic type
another guy that I met that night. So I got Bobby Green, Usman, and Gary as my locks. Now I got a parlay, and it's a deep one. So I like CJ. I like CJ Vergara in the first fight. Ian Gary, who's on the prelims. Bobby Green, Alex Pereira. Who a lot of people might be like, who's Alex Pereira? Just know this. He knocked out Israel Adesanya, and then he beat him again twice in K1 kickboxing. But he did spark out the champ. Out cold, and it was just bad.
I've never lost Adesanya.
Pereira's he's an animal. I would parlay him by KO also. So I like Pereira Green. I also like Phil Hawes. I don't know how that fight's gonna go down, but my parlay is this: Vergara, Jacoby, who's a last-minute fill-in, who's gonna murk the guy he's fighting. So I got Vergara, Jacoby, Gary, Pereira, Hughes as your prelim parlay. All right.
Whoa, that's a big one. Yeah.
This it's fun this way because if you hit it, then you know you're playing with house money on the main event. So I'm not gonna mess with a whole lot. I'll add Usman in a couple of parlays, and I might add Gaethje in a couple. But the pay-per-views are close competition for a reason. They want the best against the best, and sometimes they're hard to call. And like I said, we dig deep on these cards, and we make our money before the main card even starts.
We make a lot of money on the prelims
so,
with these guys.
Yep, I like Vergara, Gary, Jacoby, Pereira, Usman, and I like Bobby Green and Phil Hawes. So.
See, yeah, and that's what you're getting on this show is you're getting the betting advice for the prelims is something nobody else does, right? Everybody else just covers the main event, if not just the last fight, right? So it's like we're giving these guys, I'm not, the Big Earl's not giving you shit on UFC, but these guys are giving you prelim advice that nobody's paying attention to.
Well, some shows do, but no one's picking the entire card at over 70%.
Right.
Bill and I are. For the last year, we're picking the full
you're well over
70%.
Our parlays aren't over 70. And that's why we always warn the viewers is like parlays usually lose. That's why they pay out so much. Okay.
Very rarely do we lose 2 fights on a 10-fight card. Very rarely.
Yep. And they have went perfect about 6 times in the last year.
Yeah, we went perfect a couple months ago when Thiago Santos fought in the main event. We went perfect.
Yeah, that was stupid. But hey, I tell you what, we're going to take a break, all right, and we're going to transition to the NFL. Now, I want to throw something out there for those of you watching. All right. If anybody goes on shop.veteran trash talk right now and buy something using the code VTTGW to get a discount, I will do my NFL picks naked. Okay.
Whoa.
So you got
Don't buy shit.
You got 2 minutes. You got 2 minutes to go buy something. All right. And the Big Earl will give you his locks like he was last week, naked, because I lost. All right. So we'll see you guys in about 2 minutes.
Here comes the, y'all don't really want it like that. Yeah. Here comes the, no. Here comes the, oh. Here comes the, y'all don't really want it like that. Yeah. Here comes the, no. Here comes the, oh. Here comes the, y'all don't really want it like that. E-double-L, I said so. I keep big bills up in my heart on the dirty like Bledsoe. Ain't got no twist in my head, but I'm still dreadful. And I got plenty of bread, so I go to bed full. I'm in it to win it, I'm all in. I might call you my cuz, young blood, but we ain't kin. You think of jumping, man, you best think again. The dirty, I'm the type of man that might go broke for revenge. Had some not so nice friends, kick the door off the hinge, take the door off your bins, pop up my four of your friends, man, please. This shit ain't cynical, man, no subliminal. I'm physical, financial, and mental to be a general. Hey, the mama claims she want a soldier, not the type be in the tank, but in that Rover. Man, please, I'm in the zone like AIDS full blown. I'm killing it like a blind man reading. I'm feeling it like, oh, yeah. Here comes the, oh, here comes the, oh, here comes the. Y'all don't really want it like that. Yeah. Here comes the, oh, here comes the, oh, here comes the. Y'all don't really want it like that. Yeah. Here comes the, oh, here comes the, oh, here comes the. Y'all don't really want it like that. Yeah. Here comes the, oh, here comes the, oh, here comes the. Y'all don't really want it like that. He think he got her when he knew he soft as butter. He ain't never been a fighter. You can go and ask his mother. I'm a lover and a fighter. A producer and a writer. Give a girl a quick fix and give your man a nice shiner. You know y'all don't really want it. And I can tell just by looking at you that you the type to run and go and tell just by looking at you. You on a mission for recognition by this.
All right, Joe again is late, and nobody decided to buy anything, so I guess I got to do this show with my clothes on, which my chest looks like George's beard. So while we're waiting for Joe, George, tell us a little bit about Veteran Radio Syndicate.
So Veteran Radio Syndicate started about 5 years ago, and our main purpose is to give veterans access to social media. So as of this month, we have 14 different shows. We have shows ranging, from one who's got the Stone Vet. We have we cover a multiple different platforms, but we basically, what we want to do is we want to give veterans a chance to go on air, do their show, talk about the topics that are important to them. We have, tomorrow night we have the bar. Right now we have Texas Revolution Radio on. And basically what we want is the ability to teach veterans how to get on social media, how to do a show, how to do things that, teach them how to, broadcast and do podcasts. We also are partnering with some organizations. One of them is Mending Fences, which offers equine therapy for veterans. So if any veterans are interested, reach out to us. We'll put you in contact with them. They do music therapy. It's in Ocala, Florida, and they do therapy with equine, with horses. They go out there, you take care of them, interact with them. And there's a study that came out of the University of Missouri that when they took an MRI of a of a person going and getting equine therapy, the frontal lobe actually had more activity on it. That's why they're using equine therapy for kids with autism. They're doing really well because horses emit a radio frequency that helps basically with cognitive abilities. So we're partnering with them, and then we have another couple of groups that we're going to announce this month. We just partner with the RPG Coffee. They're going to have their first show is on next Wednesday, which is the Marine Corps birthday. And
Never heard of it.
Yeah, well, you know what? That's fine too. This is why they had ASVAB waivers right here.
Exactly. Absolutely. Absolutely. It was. I said cheers Devil Dogs on their birthday, and our group got shut down for bullying. So apparently you can't say cheers Devil Dogs. So go check out Veteran Radio Syndicate. Those of you watching, I can't wait to get more involved with it, to look at it as well. Again, what we do at Veteran Trash Talk, which people don't really understand yet, and even know that you think they do, we do all of this for free. All right. Like, we will build you up as much as we can. If you become loaded rich off of us, we don't care. Okay. Like, we just want to build people up. And if we can send the next person to the next level, whether it's an author, whether it's a nonprofit, whether it's, Juan with Stone Vet, like, we don't care. Like, dude, send it, man. Let's get it going. So this is a tremendous platform that has been created, and it only survives because of you guys watching and because of you guys coming out on social media. So Veteran Radio Syndicate will be a huge asset to any veteran that is looking at, somehow pursuing some type of social media career, whether it's podcasting or, just selling via social media, all that kind of stuff. So definitely go check them out. Check out Veteran Radio Syndicate. Now, I'm not going to make any excuses for last week. All right. But I am going to get upset because I'm going to get a little triggered. All right. And the Big Earl does not become a pansy. All right. Because the triggered pansy, we don't want to do that. With the NFL, what I was so mad about was these clown games that happened. And now all the people in my Pick'em League, which is for big money, right? Now all those clowns are back in the mix. Because only clowns pick some of those games to win. Like, nobody picked those games to go the way they did. So, but a couple of my friends picked those games, and yeah, you're clowns. And I'll tell you to your face, you're clowns. But I went -2 on locks, and I went -1 on the upset, which puts me even on upsets, and it puts me at +6 on locks. So again, when I say my picks, I don't care if you want to argue with my picks. All I'm saying is I'm telling you what I'm betting on. These are the games that I like, okay? And whether or not you think a different game, that's cool. But if I say money line, that's because I'm not betting on it, all right? And sometimes I tell you to maybe take the points.
Hey, Cincinnati, this beer's not for you.
Oh, my God. Artists. I had 4 teams blow a 2-score lead in the fourth quarter last Sunday. Like, you sons of bitches, right? And, even the Colts tried to allow a fourth string quarterback to go 4 straight touchdown drives last night to cover. All right. And they didn't. It got tipped, intercepted in the red zone. Otherwise, that 4th string quarterback almost put up 28 points in a row on the Colts. I won that bet, though, by the way. I did bet the Colts -10.5. Joe, let's run through these games because the Baker has to do work.
Yeah, let's roll. We got Buffalo rolling into Jacksonville. It's the first game you got. We got Jacksonville 14.5-point dogs at home with a 48.5 over under.
Right. I have never seen a team favored by so much every week. All right. Maybe that's how bad the AFC is, but Buffalo is a 2-score favorite every week.
16 last week.
Right. And they were 20 over the Texans, and they covered that. They covered the 16 like we said they would. All right. That's the only lock I hit. I'm going to go the Bills lock again. The Bills will cover 14.5 on the road in Jacksonville. They will cover that. Okay. So that is a fact.
All right. Well, I don't have shit to say to the next 2 teams. I don't have shit to say to either one of them. We got Atlanta going into New Orleans at 1:00. I think they both screwed us last week.
Yes, they did.
And we got a New Orleans is -6 with a 41.5 over under.
I got to go with the Saints. I'm going to go with the Saints on this one.
Yeah, there you go. I was just going to say, Georgia, anytime you want to chime in on a game, feel free.
I got to tell you the lock that I would pick. This is my lock.
Wait till the game comes up.
Okay.
Is this the game?
When your lock hits, George, take the wheel.
Is this the game? This game right here?
No.
Okay, so all right. So
I like that over.
And we're on the Falcons at the Saints at 42. I also like that over as well. I actually run a little arrow there on my notes, but I got to take the Saints, and I think they cover 6. But I would put the money line. I'm not betting on the Saints, but I'm picking Saints. They'll probably be in a couple parlays money line. What's the next one?
We got the Browns going into Cincinnati. Cincinnati is -2.5, even after that shit show last week with a 47 over under.
Yeah, here's
this game.
Here's another game where you got two teams that traditionally hate to win, right? And I say that a lot. I said it about the Lions. I say that.
Yeah, but then they get all new school. At least the Lions keep it old school and just really fucking hate to win.
Yeah, and just for some reason I don't get it. The Falcons are the same way. The Falcons hate to win. All right, when they're supposed to. I'm going to circle the Bengals. I'm not touching this game. All right, I'm not even going to watch this game. I'm not even going to watch highlights of this game because the Bengals cost us a lot of money last week by blowing a 20-point lead in the fourth quarter, 20 points, and they lost by 2 scores. All right, that means that they let the Jets score like 40 points in one quarter. Okay, so no, I'm going to go. I'll circle Bengals money line. That's all you're getting from me. So all right.
All right, we got Denver rolling into Dallas. Dallas is a -10 at home with a 49.
Hold on, you just walked right over me. I guess my.
Shit, George. I'm sorry.
George. It must have been Ohio. It must have been the Ohio State hat that got in the way.
So that is my pick of the. I'm going to take the Bengals.
You're gonna. You're from Ohio.
Yeah, you got to take the Bengals on this
one.
It's
the Ohio Bowl.
This is the Ohio Bowl, and you got to take the Bengals for the win.
Okay.
All right.
You're going to put that as a lock?
I'd put that as a lock.
All right.
I think the Bengals are going to come back and they're going to I think they wind up taking, they're going to cover, and I just don't think that the Browns are going to be that the Browns are just not going to be close.
I mean, I can see that, but like I said, I would normally put side bets when somebody wants to chime in on a game, but I'm not like I said, I'm not touching that game. That game's going to be in 0 of my parlays. I might watch it just for the fun of being in the Ohio Bowl. But all right, what we got next?
All right, we got Denver rolling into Dallas. I think Vegas is starting to listen to us, Nick. They got Dallas as a -10 favorite. What did Dallas have to do? Lose to become a -10 favorite?
I don't get it.
Get it.
I don't understand
49
Vegas.
Over under.
They're
fucking with us. They've seen our show and they're messing with us.
So you got a 49.5 over under, which I only think the way that hits is if Dallas scores 40 points. All right, if Dallas scores 40 points, that over under hits. So I like
Teddy Bridgewater healthy.
No, but the biggest problem is Denver's defense isn't healthy. Right, so that they're still very good without it, and they're one of the best defenses in the league. But people don't understand just how good of players the Cowboys have, and I hate saying it when I'm in El Paso, when I'm in Texas, right? Because I don't like the Cowboys. I'm a Packer fan, right? But the Cowboys have the most talented team in the NFL.
Lamb, Cooper, Elliott,
right? So
I mean, they can hang up points.
They're going to win this game by 14.
All right,
it might be 14-0. Who knows?
I think Dallas is going to score 30, 35 points.
Yeah. Hey, George, that's exactly what we've been saying. If you watch any of our shows, I keep saying how Dallas has been the lock of the year. They have won me money for 8 straight weeks. They had a bye week. 7 straight weeks. All right, so I'm gonna keep betting.
I'm a Cowboys fan this year.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
They've been doing what they're supposed to be doing. Yeah. We got Houston going into Miami in a gross game. Miami is -5.5 with a 46.5 over under.
Yeah, and there's a lot of talk in the Miami camp about Tua being upset where he's at and all that stuff. But the Texans, their offense just will not do shit because they're all the running backs.
They heal relationships. The Texans,
yeah, all the running backs they added are all hurt. Like it's a disaster. I was high on the Texans to cover early in the year. I was never high on the Texans to win games, but they did cover the first 2 weeks.
That's funny because Nick was high on the Texans before the year, and I got high and bet on the Texans during the year.
Actually, we won money on them covering a couple of spreads in the first couple of weeks. So, the Texans won't cover here. I think the Dolphins is a lock, 5.5.
All right, we got Las Vegas rolling into New York to play the football Giants. The Giants are a +3 underdog at home with a 46.5 over under.
Which I got my money in as soon as that Ruggs situation came in. What a terrible incident that was. Hopefully everybody's, prayers with the family, that lady that lost her life. But the Raiders lost their number 1 draft pick because he decided to go 156 with a loaded gun in his car, drunk, and kill somebody. So he's gone. Ruggs is out. I'm going to go Giants upset here, lock. Like Giants money line. So Giants money line upset.
All right, we got Minnesota rolling into Baltimore. This should be a good one. Baltimore is a -6 favorite with a 50 over under.
I think the Vikings are a little deflated after getting their shit pushed on Halloween by a backup quarterback in Dallas. But the Ravens coming off a bye week, getting a little bit more healthy with the best football player on the planet, Lamar Jackson. They cover that -6 easy.
Yeah,
easy.
I got to go with that one too. I think I'd go on the Ravens.
Yeah, easy.
I like the Ravens, and I actually like the under in that game.
That's a good bet too, Joe. Yeah, that's a good bet. The under on that's a good bet.
We got New England rolling into Kevin Travers' favorite team, the Carolina Panthers. The Panthers are +3.5 dogs at home with a 41 over under. Interesting.
That's a tough game, man. That's a tough game.
This was supposed to be the Cam Newton coming home game, but he went ahead and got benched.
Well, yeah, he got the
and Mac. Finger. I don't know. Mac for the Patriots is he's doing okay. I'd have to take in this one. I kind of think I would go with the Patriots and take the line.
So you're going to say Patriots giving up 3.5?
Yeah.
All right. Here's the problem: is Christian McCaffrey is questionable, not out. So if Christian McCaffrey plays, this is an upset pick. So watch the injury report before the game starts. This is one of those things where I'm not putting this bet in any of my bets until the injury report.
I've watched several games in that stadium, man, and silly shit happens there. I'm telling you, Carolina will play over their head from time to time.
If Christian McCaffrey, well, they screwed us last week too. So if Christian McCaffrey comes in and he plays, they're going to beat the Patriots.
You know what a 6-game parlay? Forget about 6 fights where there's odds. A 6-game parlay.
You want to talk about?
Neither do I, Carolina, because you F me on it.
Yeah, so you want to talk about easy money with Vegas and the hype of the Patriots. Everybody, regardless of whether you hate the Patriots, a lot of America loves the Patriots. All right, so the money always goes on the Patriots. And now that they beat the Chargers at the Chargers, where if you watch that game, which I did, was all kinds of clown ball bounces, right? The Chargers are a way better team than the Patriots, but the ball just went that way, right? That whole game, like, it's just stupid. You had a running back running, and what's his name? The quarterback. Why am I blanking on his name?
Mac Jones?
No, for the Chargers.
Herbert.
Herbert, yeah. Herbert from Oregon, right? Just throws a nice little check down pass to his running back who's not even paying attention, hits off of his shoulder pads and goes into the Patriots' hands for a pick six, right? So it's like that game shouldn't happen that way, but it is what it is. I like the Panthers here if Christian McCaffrey plays. If he doesn't play, take the Patriots, like George said.
Yeah. Quick tip for those bettors out there, because I know the NFL's bet way heavier than any sport. No joke. Not only watch the injury report, but if you're gambling in a legal state, have your shit ready. Watch the injury report and have your shit ready right here, because the odds will go like a heart monitor as soon as that thing comes out. It's crazy. Get ready, watch it, put your shit in. All right. So we got the Chargers going to Philly. Philly is a 1.5-point dog at home, 49.5 over under.
Hey, the Eagles are starting to play. All right, they're starting to play. So I think the Chargers coming on the road after a letdown against New England. I like the Eagles here. Take the 1.5. You're better off betting at money line because who cares about a 1.5? But I'm not betting this game. But if you have to bet this game, I'm going to go Eagles.
All right, we got Arizona going into San Fran. San Fran is a -2 favorite, 45 over under.
So I got lucky on this one. I got it right on the line because the Cards are going to destroy San Francisco.
I got to jump on that one too. I think how is the 49ers a 3-point favorite?
No, they're 1.5.
Well, they're 2 on CBS, but whatever FanDuel's got them at. But this is fucking obviously. I mean, man,
unless Kyler doesn't play because of the ankle. So
there you go. There's the injury report again. If he plays, man, take them money line.
Watch the ankle. But if Kyler plays, which he will, because they can fix an ankle with a couple of shots. Cards. And then I like the over. The over is 45.
Yeah,
right? Like San Francisco's defense is so in shambles that even with a backup quarterback for the Cardinals, you're going to hit over 45 points. So,
next game's my lock. Yeah. We got your Packers going into KC and Arrowhead at 425, getting 7.5 with a 48 over under. Now, I'm taking Pack all day.
What we saw last week was one of the greatest coaching examples ever by the Green Bay Packers. And I'm a Packer fan. We haven't seen that since Mike Holmgren, to where we were missing our top 1, 2, and 3 receivers. We're missing our top 2 cornerbacks and our all-pro rusher, and we beat a 7-0 team with running the ball and clock control. It was an absolutely beautifully coached game.
You meant Mike McCarthy, not Mike Holmgren, right?
Holmgren, yeah.
Sure you didn't mean McCarthy?
I didn't mean McCarthy. I hate McCarthy.
You sure?
I love McCarthy in Dallas. I hated him in Green Bay. You can't have a simpleton in Green Bay with Aaron
So
Rodgers.
you're taking the Packers and how many points?
I'm taking Kansas City.
And what's the line right now?
Money line. I'm taking Kansas City money line.
What's the money line right now?
7.5.
7.5. Chiefs and 7.5. I got to go with that. I'd go with the Chiefs. I'd take the Chiefs and the points.
Right. So the issue here is that again, Matt LaFleur is a tremendous coach. So, and we have a guy from the Yale of the Southwest, UTEP, Aaron Jones, whose dad and mom were sergeant majors, right? Like, if they can get him the ball and they can control like they did against the Cardinals, it's going to be a really close game. And the Packers, Jordan Love people don't realize he's no slouch at all. He's 6'5", right? And he's phenomenally fast. He's done nothing but watch Aaron Rodgers. He's done nothing but learn. And this is what the Packers do. People don't realize that because they hate the Packers. They want to pay attention to their system, just like the Patriots. You don't want to pay attention to it.
I love when people, casual NFL fans, go, "Why would you draft Jordan Love when you had Aaron Rodgers?"
Do you know how much of a freaking
it worked out real well for
is?
Aaron fucking Rodgers when they drafted a quarterback when they had an NFL Hall of Famer at quarterback, didn't it?
The Packers and the Patriots are the exact same in the draft. They take the best athlete available.
Yeah.
Period. Because they're always drafting 27th to 30th pick. Right. So they're literally just drafting the best athlete. So the Packers took Jordan Love. Why? Because he's also trade bait. All right. So let's say he fires it up tomorrow. On Sunday, and then he fires it up in the next preseason. You're going to get 4 draft picks for him.
He's going to get the Matt Flynn deal.
So it's worth the first round draft pick with the 30th pick. Right. And then Matt Flynn deal. I was telling people about that. Like Matt Flynn threw 6 touchdowns against the Lions, got a $45 million contract with Seattle. And then they drafted Russell Wilson.
And all the Detroit fans are going, "God damn it, who doesn't throw 6 touchdowns against
Chris is getting mad at us. We got to get out here like the next 5 minutes.
All right. Tennessee going into LA. LA is -7 with a 53 over under.
Yeah. Lock it up. Rams.
I go with the Rams.
All right.
Lock it up.
Monday night, we got Chicago going to Pittsburgh, and I'm lagging on the line here, but it's Pittsburgh -6.5 with a 39 over under.
I was really mad at the Bears defense last week. That's another 2-score lead that was blown, right? So the Bears blew a 2-score lead on my upset pick. But yeah, Steelers. I'm not gonna lock this one, but the Steelers are on every one of my parlays money line, because that's what you do, Joe. You take the favorite and you go money line on the money
I gotta
line.
tell you a Steelers story real quick.
Nice.
So
because Chris has to do a final for his baking.
Oh my God. Okay. Ohio State tried to get Ben Roethlisberger's from Ohio, and they tried to get him to come to Ohio State, but not as a quarterback, but as a tight end. And he said no, and that was a great decision because he's one of the biggest quarterbacks in the NFL, but ever, and he's had a long career, and I think him being big has something to do with it.
Jared Lorenzen.
Huh?
Jared Lorenzen, yeah.
Kentucky quarterback. He was 6'4", 300 pounds. He didn't make it. He wasn't an all-pro and win 2 Super Bowls, but
he did.
All right,
he
Chris,
did play.
Chris, I'm gonna shut up now.
But I mean, Roethlisberger's has been pretty. He has been very durable, and I think a lot of that has to do with you're hitting a lineman. I mean, he is. You are hitting a lineman.
They're trying to sack Rob Gronkowski.
Yeah.
All right, so let me close this out so Muffin Fingers can get back to his baking final. But so let's just go over it again. I like the Ravens as a lock at -6. I like the Boys as a lock at -10. All right, I like the Cards as a lock if Murray plays. And then my upsets are the Giants. And I also have a lock as the Dolphins. I think the Dolphins cover 5.5 easy, no matter who plays quarterback. And then I like the Panthers to upset as well if Christian McCaffrey plays. So watch the lines on those. Big shout out to our sponsors again. You got a Happy Place Hemp. You got 10th Mountain Bourbon. Again, go get yourself a bottle of 10th Mountain Bourbon. Put in the code VTT. They hook up the community with a discount. Go to Elevated Hemp Solutions and put in VTT 25 off. That's a 25% off discount. And then Veterans Mortgage Source. Those are our main spot. That's our main sponsor. Check them out. They're phenomenal. Zach's gonna help you no matter what, even if you can't do a loan in your state. He's gonna tell you what you should be getting. Okay, so you can email him and he'll tell you. It was an absolute pleasure. We went a little bit longer tonight, even though Chris said I need to make this short tonight. We said, screw you, Chris. You're our only paid employee. So that's just the way it is. But George, it was a pleasure. I hope that you win so I can talk shit to Joe, and I'm in a win-win situation because if Joe wins, I get to talk shit to you. So it's perfect.
When are we going to follow up? We're going to follow up on this on Sunday.
Whenever you want to follow up on it, George.
George, I'll text you the differences in our picks, and I'll show you how we score it. All right. And it'll make sense.
So now that we've got a cage down here, do you want to come get thrown? Do you want to get, put on a gi and get mangled? I mean, do you want to get ridden like Seabiscuit?
I fight naked, George.
Huh?
I fight naked like the Greeks.
You're not that cute, though. You're not even E-Club cute. I mean, you might be E-Club.
How many goats would you get for Nick over there? I got 30.
I think he'd probably be, 32. I mean, you need a little bit of road game. I mean, I don't know. Does he have – you got hair?
I do. I have beautiful hair. So
yeah, he's a 32. He's a solid 30, 32 goats.
Yeah, exactly. Easy. So no.
I mean, Joe, your value is diminished because you went to Michigan. I mean, that's just like,
my value would be increased if I went to Michigan. I'm just a Michigan fan.
I know, but that's the same thing. That's like going to an Alabama family reunion and dating your cousin. I mean, there's just
doesn't that make you fit in Alabama?
Huh?
I thought that was a good thing in Alabama.
You know what? If we have any Alabama fans, read this to them.
We will, for sure. So we got an Alabama fan coming on tomorrow. Hey, tomorrow is a great show. All right. We got Boats Oshana coming on. He does tremendous film work and picture work during the Veteran Trash Talk Hour. And, we had him on as one of our 5th shows. And he had bad internet and it was a dual guest show. It wasn't very good. So we owe him a real opportunity to share his work And so come on tomorrow and check out Boto Shana, tremendous Navy veteran that just does it's great. The photography he does and the stories he does to help with PTSD is absolutely phenomenal. So we'll have the full crew on tomorrow. So definitely come check us out at 1400 Eastern time. Other than that, make some money and we'll see you guys tomorrow.